Hello everybody, Awesome Soul here, and today I am back with a brand new concept video. Today's concept, I will be talking to you all about my guardian leg idea. Now, as you can see, it does somewhat resemble the insect leg. However, it is very different. The only real similarity it has is its mounting method, where it sticks out from the side of the bot, rather than below, like a mech leg would. First things first, we will talk about the design. So, starting on the left, we have a mounting nub. Now, much like the mech leg, this is a 3x3 mounting nub. So it does have a lot of connection points to it, making for a very tanky design. Moving on, we have a little bit of a gray cylinder sticking out of the leg. Now that basically allows the leg to swivel and pivot. A little forward, we have the first joint that allows the leg to go up and down, and then we have the main upper leg. This has a lot of decorative venting and some exposed metal, because why not? I think it looks cool. Then we have the other joint, and this one is what allows the leg itself to move. At the top of said leg, we have more venting and decorative handlebar type design. Purely for decoration, doesn't really serve any purpose. And then going back down the leg, we have a very large armor pad. And if you look at the other design that I have right here, the front of it, it does have a light on the front. Now, this light will serve a purpose, but I will tell you all about that in a little bit. So coming back to the other side, going down, we have some more exposed metal, some team coloring, and then we have some spikes. Gee, I wonder what these could be. So this is the main thing about the leg. Now, like my other video, I'm not going to spoil that straight away. That will be a secret for about the middle of the video, so hold tight. But hopefully this will be a bit more obvious than the last quote-unquote secret. Alright, now to the part that I'm sure all of you have been waiting for. The stats, or exactly what makes this leg so very special. Starting off, as some of you may have guessed, this is a very slow movement part. When I say slow, I mean very slow. Like, slower than the current digigrade mech legs we have. I'm thinking somewhere around the 65 mile per hour range. So basically, a mech leg, while it's crouched, but slightly faster. I think the crouching speed of a mech leg is 60 miles per hour, so it would be a little faster than that. There is a reason for that, and I'm sure some of you are saying, oh, that kind of sucks, but, you know, there's balance reasons. Trust me. One of those reasons is it has amazing armor. I'm sure you've noticed a lack of electroplating. However, it doesn't need it. Not at all. It has incredible armor. We're talking real high, possibly in the range of the mech leg's electroplate plus its built-in armor. Somewhere in that range, but just as armor. So, these things aren't going to be taken out that easily. Thing is, though, as you've noticed, this is to scale. So, this is a very large movement part. Possibly the biggest. Not necessarily width-wise, because I think the widest one would still be the rotor. But, in overall hitbox size, this is by far the biggest part we have. So, I'm just going to throw up some example sizes. First thing will be the sprinter leg, my last concept, which itself was one block taller than the digigrade mech legs. I will also throw up the insect leg. Pretty major size difference, I know. Moving on from that, we have the main feature of the leg. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that the spikes look a little out of place. Why are they there, precisely? Well, I'll tell you why. Lockdown mode. Yes. Basically, it trades movement for damage. So, as the name would suggest, you lock down, stopping you from moving. However, you can't be moved at all. So, any annoying players trying to push you around, it's not going to happen. However, you can't really move yourself either. The thing behind this, though, is a damage buff. I'm thinking somewhere in the range of 25% damage, so you become, essentially, a giant defensive turret. And that's why it's called a Guardian leg, because you're protecting important points, hopefully with a teammate at your side. Now, for balance reasons, it does have a setup time and a removal time. So, at overclock 1, you're essentially looking at a setup time of around 5 or 6 seconds, somewhere in that range. Now, what happens is, the leg itself has a built-in generator, so thematically or story-wise or whatever you want to call it, the leg will lock down due to the fact that the guns are a lot more powerful, and then the built-in generator will start powering up your weapons. So only once you're locked down will you gain the boost. Now, how do you lock down, I hear you ask? Well, keeping things fairly simple, all you need to do is hold down the shift key and you will start to see a bar on your screen. Once that bar fills, you can then let go of the shift key and you are now in lockdown mode. The thing that will overclock on this part, obviously, is the lockdown setup time and removal time. So you don't want to go overboard. I'm thinking setup time at maximum overclock, which is now 15, at least at the moment of this video, is probably in the range of 3 seconds. But remember, it's 3 seconds to set up and 3 seconds to remove yourself. So you have to play smart with this. And again, that goes into the play style. It is a very, very defensive part, and that was my goal when creating this. We don't really have a defensive part in the game currently. A movement type that excels at defending important locations, such as your base or a tower, for example. Having something like that in the game would add a lot of diversity to it. Going on, we have its climbing ability. Now, it's in the range of the mech leg. So basically, anything that the mech leg can climb, this thing can climb. But it is not going to be climbing 90-degree surfaces like the insect legs are. Don't worry, it's not that powerful. And also, it has a very low jump height, much lower than the mech leg, even at overclock 1. And the jump height on this doesn't overclock. Basically, the only reason it's there is to hop over small obstacles, such as barricades or rocks. You can't really use it to help yourself climb. And finally, I'm sure some of you have been wondering, how's the stability on these things? Since it is a side-mounted leg rather than an under-mounted leg, the stability of having just two isn't that great. But it is a lot better than just having two insect legs, because the surface area of the foot is a lot larger than the surface area of the insect leg. Having just two of these will make your bot wobble back and forth, but you will still be able to walk properly. You will just be very unstable and unable to get a good shot off. Unless, of course, you lock yourself down. But before I go into that, I'm just going to say, ideally, you want at least 3 legs or more. Thing is, though, due to their size, you're really only ever going to want about 4 on a bot. And because of its very high CPU cost, much like the mech leg, you don't really need that many. What about having a leg in lockdown mode? How's the stability of that? Well, I'm glad you asked, because if you only have one lockdown leg and all the other ones are shot off, you will be completely stable, completely level, and no accuracy loss. I feel that makes a lot of sense due to the fact that the leg essentially locks up along with being stuck in place because the spikes are sticking into the ground. But once you lose this last leg, your damage buff will be removed. You will no longer have the damage buff, and of course, you will fall back to the ground and generally have a real bad time. So that's it as far as the stats go. I will just go ahead and close up the video. Like the last one, I highly suggest you guys showing your support in any way you can. Leave a like, add this to favorites, share it around on Twitter, send it to the devs, put it on the forums, put it up on Reddit. You know what to do. Let me know what you think of the leg, any shortcomings you see. Would you really like to use this? Is something like this a playstyle that you're looking forward to? With that, I've been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.